A new Department of Homeland Security report suggests the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, ICE, cannot account for tens of thousands of unaccompanied minors. The report from the DHS Inspector General notes a number of issues, effectively blaming ICE for losing track of children who arrive alone at the border. Let's bring in border correspondent Allie Bradley, who is live for us in Del Rio, Texas. Allie, break down more of this report for us.
Yeah, hey, Nichole. It's a pretty alarming report that found that at least 32,000 unaccompanied children never showed up for their court dates between 2019 and 2023. And nearly 300,000 of these kids that came across the southern border alone never even got a court date whatsoever. So ICE did respond to this Office of Inspector General report here that was just released, saying that the notices were not given out to children until they were placed with sponsors. And at that point, they were in the custody of the Office of Refugee Resettlement. An immigration attorney that we spoke with says the fact that there are too many agencies involved is causing part of this issue here. Take a listen.
If ICE wants to find where these kids are, if ICE had the capability and the funding to do so, it would be able to do so. The real issue is the left hand wants for these kids to file for asylum with USCIS, which is one agency. Meanwhile, everyone is expecting for these kids to also get a notice to appear, which would put them into immigration court, which is a different agency. And so each agency is essentially standing with its hands in its pockets, waiting for the other agency to take jurisdiction over these kids' cases. So it's not necessarily a matter of tracking that's an issue. It's a matter of there's no uniform system or process for what needs to happen next.
Yeah, Nichole, once these children come across the southern border, basically they're encountered by a Border Patrol agent, but HHS, Health and Human Services, and the Office of Refugee Resettlement get involved immediately. So Border Patrol doesn't have anything to do with these young children. ICE does retain the responsibility to walk through this immigration process with these children. So I have reached out to ICE, Nichole. I have not yet heard back from the agency.
All right, so Allie, I think big question here, what is being done to make sure that these unaccompanied minors are in the right hands?
Yeah, you heard that immigration attorney there talk about it's not necessarily an issue of tracking, but it is going to be hard to find these nearly 320,000 children. So right now, we just confirmed here at NewsNation that the Homeland Security Committee for the GOP House Republicans is actually planning a hearing following this report that is new here to NewsNation. But we can also confirm that a top Senate Republican is also calling for some kind of movement, some kind of hearing to happen because of this report and surrounding these unaccompanied children. So Senator Bill Cassidy, he is the ranking member on the Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions. He sent a letter to Chairman Senator Bernie Sanders requesting that a committee hold a hearing. So Cassidy is citing the DOJ lawsuit filed against the primary contractor who houses unaccompanied children in its shelters. Southwest Key Programs currently under fire, alleging some of its employees have engaged in improper or practicing sexual abuse and harassment of these unaccompanied children. So the lawmakers saying that it is an issue that is, quote, ripe for oversight. Now, according to HHS data, the Biden administration has actually released more children into the United States, more unaccompanied children who have crossed the southern border into the U.S. when we compare that to the last two previous administrations, Nichole. So definitely some higher numbers right now. We know the Biden administration has not wanted to remove children, that has been something that they have been adamant on, that unaccompanied children can stay in the United States. But again, finding out where they go and keeping track of them has proving to be a problem under this administration, according to people on the ground, Nichole.
Yeah, some really disturbing data in that report. All right, Allie, thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.